Hi everybody, Lilac here. Welcome to the Lilac Room. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me today. I haven't posted a video in a while, so I really appreciate you tuning in. I was driving home tonight and I was feeling like this weird feeling like everything just seemed a little heavier than usual and it felt kind of personal. You know, as if like I was being weighed down, like purposefully. And um, all things do happen for our best and highest good, and that I believe with absolute certainty. But it was a very heavy feeling, and so I found myself driving home and thinking, you should do a card reading. You should do it online. You should talk to other people. You should express yourself outwardly to, and not for the reasons that I would have done, a year ago, which is like, let me get out of my own funk, or let me get out of my own head, or whatever. It's not even that. It's something else. So I'm very curious about why I feel guided to be online tonight. And I guess we're going to find out why. So we're going to do a card reading. And also what I was thinking of doing is a 10 card spread like I always do, which is a Celtic cross. And then maybe pulling one card for each sign of the zodiac, and we'll see if there's some specific messages for people. I woke up this morning to a phone call from my bank saying that there were fraudulent charges, or that suspected fraudulent charges. And they were fraudulent charges, although they took $0 from me, but the bank identified the problem. And then at the end of the night, I was at home, I got home at like, I don't know, 6:30 or something. And I, for some reason, was checking the amount of money I had on my other card because my bank debit card was now frozen, because that's what they do when they think there's fraud. They freeze the card, you have to get a new one and whatever. I'm sure everybody knows how that works. So I was checking my other card balance to see how much money I had available on a card in case I needed it or whatever. And I discovered fraud on that card, but for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars over the last several months. So clearly I don't use that card very much, and I was just letting the money accumulate on it, so I was unaware of the problem. And the reason I mention that is it made me feel violated. When I found out about the fraud, it's such a small thing, but in my head now, I'm just thinking like, who is this person and how did they find me and why did they target me and why did they do this and why would they do this? Like, why would they do such a thing, right? I'm a single mom, and that's my child support card, where I've been saving money for some expenses for my son that are coming up. And I thought to myself, Lilac, if you feel violated by this really small thing that happened to you just now, imagine how other people feel when they experience something like this, but on a bigger level. And it just made me more cognizant of the pain that people feel, that they just carry around, that they just kind of cope with and deal with on their own without complaint. I mean, some people complain about it, obviously, but I'm saying there are some people out there who are just kind of walking through the world, just kind of coping with everything. And I just really felt a lot of empathy for those folks. So anyway, that was what was kind of like on my mind just before I came online. So I'm warming up my cards. These cards are, I don't remember what this deck is, but it's lovely. And I don't think any of you really care because I don't show my cards anyway, so I'm not showing my cards. Just kidding. It's not personal. I just don't have the camera set up for it. All right, so let's take a big, deep, collective breath. Spirit guides and angels, please guide us for what is for the highest and best for all of us, anybody who might tune into this message. And if there's a message for specific people, I ask that you bring it forward. Use me as your guide. All right, first card out. Five of Pentacles. I mean, that's funny. If you know about tarot, Five of Pentacles is the poverty card, right? It's the wounded, broken spirited card. It's the there's help available in the church if you want to go in there kind of thing. Like, so it's like kind of talking about a type of heartbreak. Not like a Three of Swords kind of heartbreak, but like a feeling of lack and being behind and not having the resources needed. So the challenge is the Six of Wands. Victory. Victory is the challenge. I feel like the message coming through is to kind of remind people that, help me say it, we are in a state of lack, right? We are in a state of lack, no matter how much a person has. For example, the fraud that I just talked about, that could happen to anybody with any amount of money in their bank. It could happen to people with hundreds and hundreds and millions of dollars in their bank accounts or on their cards. And it could happen to people who only have $20 on their card. How much money a person has or doesn't have is of no consequence when dealing with humanity as a whole. We are all in a state of impoverishment. That's not really a word, but I kind of like made it a word. But if you catch my drift, we're all in a state of lack, challenged by victory. Because how do we create victory when we were designed to be in a state of lack? When I say we were designed, I mean we as human beings essentially are operating in a universe that has not allowed for us to have victory. I hope that makes sense. In the past, the Wheel of Fortune showing up, I feel like that is Spirit's way of saying, because it's a major arcana and it's a very vibrant card. Like, it's a vibrant Wheel of Fortune card by comparison to other decks. And I feel like Spirit is presenting this card here to say, in the past, you may have experienced what you felt was success. Because, mind you, let's go back to what I said first, which is that all of humanity are experiencing lack and are unable to receive victory. But in the past, victory was something that we individually were achieving. For example, you're victorious because you've successfully completed college. You're victorious because you've gotten married. You're victorious because you got a great job. You're victorious because good things are happening to you in your life. But Spirit is now trying to identify for us, or help us identify for ourselves, that we are not operating in the same paradigm as we were during times when we used to experience victory. This reading's going to be confusing for some people, so if it resonates, okay, but if it doesn't, I'm sorry. But we are not in the same paradigm. So if you think that you can kind of learn from the past, learn from history, do it the way you've always done it, do it the way that your parents did it, do it the way that the people who came before you in your role position at work did it, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't work like that anymore. Okay? It doesn't work like that anymore, is what Spirit wants you to know. In the more recent past, the Devil card coming up in reverse tells me adjusting the paradigm adjustment feels out of whack, right? The paradigm is adjusting, but it's out of whack as it's adjusting. You're not supposed to succeed right now. You're supposed to feel not successful right now. So if you are not succeeding at the things that your human hands are putting into practice, there's a reason that this is happening. Ace of Swords reversed. So yeah, there are going to be, I gotta show you the card, because you see the eternal, I always forget what that's called, the eternity symbol, or infinity symbol, that's what it's called. The snake is wound around this sword in an infinity loop. And the Ace of Swords card showed up in reverse. It's an ace, so it's something new. It's sword, so it's sharp thoughts and sharp language and sharp ideas. Like, I want to say sharp because of the sword, but how else would I guess I would categorize it as, not sharp. How would I say sharp? Like, sharp-tongued is what I want to say. So it's showing up in reverse because I think it's hard for people to hear. Some things that are coming up are going to be hard for us to hear. But where does it bring us? To the future. It brings us to death in reverse. Okay. I feel like it's noteworthy that this card is completely black and white with no color in it, whereas all the other cards have some smattering of color in them. It's bringing about the ending of the paradigm, essentially. So to recap, right? We're feeling a sense of impoverishment in a unified way. Like, all of humanity, I'm going to postulate, are feeling this without a way towards success. This sounds very negative, I know. But you have to understand that it's not negative. It's the condition that we're in. It's the human condition that we're in right now. So I'm curious if we can get some information to give whoever's listening something to kind of like hope for, right? Internally, what's happening to the collective is represented in the Eight of Swords, but in reverse. Meaning there are no signals being sent that are clear. There are no options being presented that indicate the way forward. That's how the collective of people listening who resonate with this message are feeling, that there are no good options. And externally, there's the Two of Wands in reverse, which means that actually in the physical around us, there are opposing factions that are, because I'm going to show you the card. There are opposing factions that essentially are making it unclear which way to go. The outcome being the Seven of Cups, but upright. Okay. So this is my 10 cards. My 10 cards are out. I'm going to pull some clarifiers. The Sun and the Nine of Wands are in our hopes and fears category. The Sun is in reverse. I think there's a feeling of, I don't know when things are going to get better. Like, that's the collective mindset. I don't know when things are going to get better. And also the Nine of Wands, which says, you know, because we just had the Eight of Wands. Oh, no, the Eight of Swords. That was the Eight of Swords. Never mind. So the Nine of Wands, which is saying, you know, I'm experiencing hardship. I'm experiencing hardship and I don't know when it's going to get better. Okay? Two of Cups, beautiful card, which came up in reverse, came up as a clarifier for the Death in reverse. Heartbreak. The Ace of Pentacles upright came up as a clarifier against the Ace of Swords reversed. Interesting, right? So that would suggest new resources coming. And that is in a future position. So Spirit is saying to experience, well, not saying to experience, you'll experience or not, depending on what you decide. But you don't, in some case, what I'm getting is we don't have a choice. We're all in this together, and the fact of the matter is there are not a lot of good options. Everything feels like hardship. The Seven of Cups in an outcome scenario would suggest that there are a myriad of possibilities entering into our line of view. And the Ace of Pentacles would suggest that this has to do with prosperity, with possibly money specifically. But I like the word resources better because I'm not trying to make people think it's connected to money per se, but the resources that will come to us that will help eliminate this heavy feeling, because the Death card brings forth, and it's in reverse, but the Death card is an ending. But it's like things are not ending. It's almost like a reassurance that things are not ending. It's almost like, instead of telling me what's going to happen in this placement in my tarot spread, where it normally would be a place where I would look to the future and say, these are some things that are likely to happen. What I'm seeing is Death reversed, Two of Cups reversed, and the Emperor reversed. You know, it almost seems like we're going to have the Seven of Cups, so there's options. We're going to have the Ace of Pentacles, which means new resources. But they're coming by way of closure, death. It's reversed, so, it might not be very soon. That's what that means in that position. But it also indicates the Two of Cups in reverse, which is emotional sadness. Also, yeah, because it's in reverse, it's going to be emotional sadness. And then the Emperor reversed, which to me, the Emperor card is a strong indication of the divine masculine, or the yin yang, but the masculine side of it. So it has to do with masculinity and the masculine approach to things. So do see a message emerging in there, but it still feels heavy. I'm not gonna lie. Whew. And I really want to pull some cards for each zodiac sign. Let me let my cat out of my bedroom because she's gonna keep scratching at the door otherwise, and I will be right back. Hey, Midnight, you wanna leave? Bye. That makes me sad because I like my cat energy when I'm doing my card readings. I like my cat energy, but she doesn't want to stick around, and that's okay. I'm not going to force her to. So I'm going to grab the Green Witch Oracle deck here, and we're going to use that for our zodiac sign reading. Let's warm up this deck. Haven't used this in a while. Okay, the other cat wants to go now too. Someone must be eating in the other room, and they must be like, ooh, I could go get a snack. Here you go, baby. Bye. All right, all the cats left me. I'm the only cat left in the room. Where should we start? Let's go from January through December. Just for fun. I just feel like doing it differently. Which would mean, sorry about the background noises. I have my windows open because it's really warm today. But not like hot enough to put the air conditioner on. So let's start with Aquarius. And I'm hoping that by doing these one cards representing each zodiac sign, I'm hoping that we can get some clarity on the general message that we just heard, because each zodiac sign is going to represent all the people on the planet, right? So somewhere within here, we should get some better messages. And so I would strongly recommend that you listen to the entire reading, or you may not understand the entire reading. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe this is why I haven't been doing readings in a while, because I don't know if it makes sense. And I'm not at liberty to say a whole lot. So trying to cautiously guide anybody who listens to me read tarot cards. Okay. So, the Green Witch Oracle and the sign of Aquarius is the first sign we're gonna start with today. What can we tell Aquarius? Oh, okay, well that one jumped out. We'll go with that one. Cauldron. I like this card. Creation, opportunity, and caring. I'm going to show you the card. So I got the Cauldron card for the sign of Aquarius, and I feel like Aquarians are cooking up something in their cauldron. There's some spoons. I just need to look at it more closely. There's 3 spoons and 2 candles. And there's something around the base of the cauldron, and it's boiling rapidly. So Aquarians are up to something, and they've already started whatever project this is, or whatever idea they had, and it's got momentum is what I want to say. I don't want to say it's going to be successful, but it's got momentum. So if you're an Aquarian and you've started a new project, or you have something possibly positive going on, you're building something, it seems to be going well. The only piece I can really feel from this card is that it is in progress, right? But I can't tell if it's a success or not, or going to be a success. There are definitely symbols in here which would indicate success, such as anything that appears in 3s, like the spoons. You know, the fact that there's been some work put in here. You're being very industrious, Aquarians. I think this is a symbol of goodness and good luck, prosperity. I feel also, I'm getting another message, I'm getting the message that so the card reads cauldron, creation, opportunity, caring, right? Those are the words at the bottom. And what I was feeling was whatever you're creating, it seems like you're doing it from the right place inside of you with the right intentions, and therefore it will help a lot of people. And it's going to bring opportunity to other people as it brings opportunity to you. It's going to demonstrate how much you care about others, and people are going to believe in what you're creating. Also, it's going to have outreach, what you're making, and don't think this is going to sound weird when I say it, but what you're making has an odor. Okay? And it's permeating out of the cauldron. And that's how other people know that you're up to something. But you're up to something good, and it's drawing people in. So that's a great message for you, Aquarius. I like it. Let's take a look at Pisces. What do you have for Pisces, Spirit? What are the Pisceans doing to help us with our, everything's about this Seven of Cups from the original tarot reading. Like, what are these Seven of Cups? What is Pisces dealing with, bringing to the table, struggling with? What do they need advice about? What do they need help with? What are they helping others with? If I know Pisces, they're probably helping others, right? Oak tree. Power, courage, and strength. That's a really dope card. You've got the acorn that's growing into this tree. Strangely, the seed is what really stands out here, and how huge it is. And then the tree, although we know that that's an image of a full-size, healthy, full-bloomed tree, what really stands out is the process by which that tree came to be, right? The seed. And it's very intricate. Like, we see sort of the inner workings inside the acorn. So I wonder if Pisces are pulling back some of the veil, right? That shrouds their creative process in secrecy. And maybe maybe Pisces are starting to show people how they produce their results. This wouldn't surprise me at all, especially in a time where humanity is in need of leadership, or in need of positivity, or in need of encouragement or support. It seems like Pisces are demonstrating power, courage, strength, as they probably always do. But even more so, they're starting to show others how that is done. Not that they were hiding it, but maybe it's becoming more visible. And I'm seeing colors of autumn here, so if there's a time frame for something related to Pisces accomplishments, it may be in the fall more than in the summer. I know we're heading into summer now, so it might be a few months. So that was a message for Pisces. Let's take a look at Aquarius. I'm sorry, I said Aquarius. Let's take a look at Aries. Oh my God. Wow. All of my cards slid out of my hands. I mean, these are not very worn out cards. So you know how they kind of have a little like slippery texture. But I mean, they literally all fell out of my hands just now. Aries. Wow, Aries. Aries is doing a lot. Aries is doing a lot. That's what I'm hearing. Aries is doing a lot. Let's help calm that Aries energy. Aries is feisty. Aries, you are the only one whose card popped out willingly, though. Basil. I said basil on purpose, but it's basil, right? The plant. Prosperity, luck, and love. Can I tell you something, Aries? You're being attacked because you're good. You're being frustrated on purpose. Okay? Not by people, not by a maleficent being, not by something evil. But Aries must be capable of doing some powerful things because you are essentially under attack. Prosperity, luck, and love. I'm sending you Reiki. I'm sending it now. You can receive it if you like. I believe in you, Aries. But if you're feeling thrown under the tires of a truck right now, like if that's what it feels like in your life, that things can constantly sort of go wrong, the problem is you are like the universe's good luck charm. If you're born under the sign of Aries right now, I feel that if you're born under the sign of Aries, I'm going to postulate right now that the reason that you were born as an Aries is because you are the carrier of the best luck that the universe could give. You're like a good luck charm to a lot of people. But as those people benefit from the good luck, you don't benefit from the good luck. So if you're an empathic Aries, you probably are struggling a lot. If you're a really selfish Aries, you're probably prospering a lot. It's a little convoluted, I know. But take in that Reiki. You definitely need it and you deserve it. So Aries on to Taurus? Yeah, let's do Taurus. Spirit, what's going on with Taurus at this time, and how does it connect to the general reading for our Taurians? Yeah, see, Aries was the only card that wanted to come out. Everybody else is like, I don't want to show my face. Alright. Cup of tea. Patience and reassessment. Taurians are taking a break. The energy's too intense for them right now. So they're going to take a cup of tea and they're going to ponder and they're going to allow, which is patience and reassessment. Makes sense. You know, Taurus is a fixed sign, so I get it. You know, they're kind of old souls, really. I feel like I'm hearing that. Old souls know, and Taurus, you're an old soul, they know that what needs to be done at a time like this is to sit and have a cup of warm tea and contemplate the events and activities going on and place the best hopes and intentions out for everybody to benefit from. Thank you, Taurus, for teaching us and showing us the way. Cancer. No, I'm sorry. I said Cancer and I meant Gemini. I was trying to skip it, apparently. All right, Gemini. Oh, Gemini's talkative. Not surprising, our air sign friends. Interesting. Gemini, you got broom, just like the lilac broom. Energy clearing and freshening. Gemini's like, we're going to do some house cleaning because the wind is blowing. Does that make sense? Like, Gemini, are an air sign. So when there's winds of change in the air, Gemini says, it's really windy. I'm going to get my broom out and help the wind to move all the dirt, move it all along, energy clearing and freshening. You know, and then you've got lovely symbols in here like the pentagram, the herbs, and the sage bundle, in addition to the broom. Like really also turning kind of inward and knowing that there are ways to heal and help others that just come from you naturally inside. And I feel like some Geminis out there might be actually recognizing that they possess this ability to help others to do this energy clearing and freshening. So if you're a Gemini and you're doing like some healing modalities, I think you're going to help a lot of people through a dark time. I say dark time. It could be a dark time in their lives, or they could be struggling to just kind of deal with everything that's going on around them in the world. Cancer, you got the pine tree, vitality, longevity, and perseverance. Cancers, I feel, are being a bit reclusive right now. They're pulling back from the world and they're sort of going into the forest where the pine trees are. Why? Because for vitality, for longevity, for perseverance. They're water signs, so they have a lot of emotional wisdom, usually, but also very sensitive. So being amongst the trees, and there's 3 trees in the picture, and 3 things that look like moons to me over the trees. They could be bubbles, but they look like moons. And again, we're dealing with those symbols of the numbers 3, right? 3 trees, 3 moons. I feel like this is for your spiritual benefit, Cancer, that you're saying, okay, I need to go inward, or I need to go out into nature, or I need to be in the country. Maybe some of you are feeling like, I can't deal with living in the city and just being around so many people. I just really want to decompress and feel closer to nature. That wouldn't surprise me. Much like your Taurus friends here, thank you for teaching us. That's a good lesson, to go back to nature and to go inward and so forth. So that seems to be the wisdom of Cancer right now. Leo. What are the Leos doing to help humanity through these dark times? What are Leos doing? What do Leos need to hear, Spirit, about? Okay. The moon, phases, cycles, and intuition. This is a strange card. Check this card out. There's all kinds of symbolism on here. There's a lot of esoteric symbolism in here. There's crystals, there's stars, there's the moon, and it's showing the cycle of the moon. Whenever I think of the cycles of the moon, I think of the month. Okay, so I feel that this is talking about monthly cycles, not menstrual cycles, guys. Like, it's not, I don't think it means that. There's a butterfly and some kind of plant and another kind of plant. Phases, cycles, and intuition. I think Leos are paying attention, is what I'm getting. They're paying attention to phases, cycles, and what their intuition is telling them. The question then would be, what are they picking up? Like, what are Leos hearing, noticing, sensing? And what does it have to do with the cycle of the moon, per se, or just celestial things, perhaps. Now, it's interesting, right? I'm a Leo, and there's these crystals. And yesterday, I received a package of crystals that I purchased. I purchased some crystals to place in my home because I felt the urge to work with crystal energy. So some Leos out there, it doesn't have to be crystal energy, but definitely I think you're being intuitively guided. And if you start feeling the urge to do things that are a little out of the ordinary for you, such as working with certain herbs or working with crystals or doing some healing modalities that are not something that you often do or have done, or perhaps someone recommends, I don't know, I think that you're drawn to it. So if you're drawn to something at this time, Leo, I think you're being told to follow your gut, but also, and I feel like I need to say this, also pay attention to when it stops working, right? Because cycles and phases, things don't continue and just go on and on and on in eternity, okay? So basically, if something works this week or this month, you may need to tweak or alter how you're doing something at a different time later. Something along those lines, but definitely you're being guided to follow your intuition. Virgo. What's Virgo doing? Spirit, and what does Virgo need to know? Okay. Chamomile. Gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. Our little Virgo virgins are being told to take really, really good care of themselves. Like the Taurus, who are sitting and having cups of hot tea, Virgo got chamomile, which is an herb used for soothing and to help with rest and sleep. And then the words say gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. Virgo, you need to rest. It's so important right now that you rest. You're doing too much, possibly. And even if you're not doing too much, if you're denying yourself rest or unable to rest, I strongly recommend that you find something that helps you get more rest, more sleep. If you need more sleep, you can do some light exercise or go for walks to help you get more tired. But you have to be very gentle with yourself right now. Virgos do tend to be overachieving, right? But the universe is saying, no matter what you do, you're not going to have victory right now, right? That's what we got from the general reading. So I feel that Spirit is trying to protect Virgos right now by saying, don't try to achieve anything because you're not going to get victory. And I would speculate that victory comes from gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. You know, maybe the answers are coming to you in your dreams or in that quiet state of being that exists when you relax or when you're gentle or when you're asleep. So I would start to listen very closely to the signals from Spirit, Virgo. It seems like an important message for you. Who's after Virgo? Libra. What can Libras do to help the collective, and what do Libra folks need to know right now? What message do we have for our Librans? Uh-oh. Yeah, these cards are just plain slippery. We'll go with this one. The Moth. Mystery, concealment, and illusion. Look at that, Libra. Mystery, concealment, and illusion. I'm honestly baffled by what this card means. I almost feel like I picked the wrong card. Like, why do Libra need to know about mystery, concealment, and illusion? I think for Librans, there's maybe a mask over your eyes to what is actually right in front of you. Mystery, concealment, and illusion. It seems to me like there could be some trickery at play for some Libras, right? There's something that you're not seeing, something that's concealed, and something, I want to say illusory, but honestly, I'm not sure what that word means. So, something that is a mystery, something that there's an illusion around. Something in your life, Libra, is represented by this moth. And whatever that thing is, there are pieces of it that you don't fully understand, that have not been revealed to you yet. You're going to need to bear that in mind, and I don't know how to guide you through that. This would definitely be something to go deeper on, but I only know that something in your life is presenting with many illusions around it to conceal something that is being withheld from you. Who's after Libra? Scorpio. Scorpio, you've got salt. Protection, banishing negativity. Alright, this is a very cool card. We've got the salt. We've got some selenite wands. The Eye of Horus, and another crystal or stone that looks dark in color. I would bet it's some kind of I can't think of what it's called, but it's a black stone basically, and this one looks like a rough untumbled stone. So Scorpio, protection, banishing negativity, salt. Scorpions, I'm feeling like saying that you're wizards, right? That you are the wizards of the zodiac, that you possess, you're possibly the sign of the zodiac, aside from Pisces, who possess the most easy access to the spirit world. You're a water sign and you're a fixed sign. So I feel like you've got 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the cosmos, okay? But that being said, you're telling everybody, hey, you got to protect yourself. You've got to banish negativity. You've got to become the salt of the earth. It's a surprisingly large amount of positivity coming from Scorpions, because Scorpions do tend to have a reputation for being kind of intense, and not in a good way. So I deeply appreciate you Scorpios who are sharing, who are the salt right now, who are saying, let's banish negativity, let's protect ourselves, let's use the tools at our disposal, let's band together even. I'm not getting a big message about unity with the salt there, but I think right now you're looking at the fact that you want to send a blare out there and say, we need to protect ourselves, we need to banish negativity, but yet you don't really know why you're saying it. But I feel like as we get closer to your solar return, like your birth date, I think that your messages will become a little more clear on this note. This feels very preliminary to me, like this is how you're feeling right now, and there's more to come. So Scorpio, I'm also being guided to tell you, you are correct, whatever that means. Sagittarius. 2 more to go, and then we're going to wrap up, guys. Saggies. The Sag have gotten the mushroom. Recycling, breaking down problems. No surprise that Sagittarians are out there trying to save the world and everybody in it and provide protection. Recycling and breaking down problems. Sagittarians are being very, very industrious right now. They're really paying attention to the tiniest and minute details of anything that they're involved in. Now, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but how you're doing it does matter. So if you're doing this with a level of anxiety, then that needs to shift a little bit into breaking down problems for the sake of helping, breaking down problems for the sake of eliminating negative energy, breaking down problems or recycling for the benefit of humanity kind of thing. I do feel too with the larger mushroom and the smaller mushroom that there's a symbology happening here of like the older guiding the younger, you know, maybe parents or mentors or bosses with employees, that kind of energy, right? Breaking down problems. But Sages, again, just keep in mind, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it only matters the energy that you're doing it in. All right, Capricorn. What's going on with our Cappies? Spirit, what do the Capricorn folks listening need to understand and know? Earthworm. Clarity and rumination. This is so cool. This worm is wrapped around a selenite wand. It's partly underground and partly up above the ground. Clarity and rumination. Rumination is a great word. It's a word I'm quite fond of. So Capricorns are really thinking about, Capricorns are almost giving themselves their come to Jesus moment. Like, that's an expression, come to Jesus moment, right? Like, actively looking at what they do, why they do. And it looks like they're setting their roots a little deeper with the help of this crystal. This crystal's coming along on the ride. It's bringing spirituality in and pulling it down into your roots, you know? So this is good stuff. I'm going to look through the cards one more time in case anything else emerges. Aquarians with the oak tree, really just focusing on what brings projects to light versus what the outcome is. Pisces with the cauldron and... Oh, I did that backwards. Oh, I didn't put these in order. I can't review them. I'm sorry. I'm a ding-dong. I was like, wait, it was Aquarius that had the cauldron. I can't recap, guys. I didn't keep them in order. I feel like ending with like one more message. Let me get another deck of cards. I'm not done yet. We need some kind of oracle message, and we're going to use the spellcasting. Yeah, I love this deck. So we're going to just close up with some guidance from the spellcasting oracle cards. Love this deck. It's a really great deck. Just a collective oracle message to close out this reading. Ooh. Okay. Lighten your load. I'm going to say it again for those in the back. Lighten your load. Lighten it. You're doing too much. Do less, be more. Let's hear what the card means according to the book. But I couldn't have asked for a more perfect card to close out this reading. Reading? Lighten your load. You have the choice and power to remove yourself from a stressful situation or simply take it in your stride. Stress is completely voluntary and something we allow ourselves to feel, even if this may not seem to be the case. As you face the responsibilities that your life demands, give your exhausted and tortured mind a break as you start to see things with a brighter outlook. Lighten your load and allow laughter to break you free from your self-imposed prison cell. It's the only way to strengthen your immune system and to inspire hope while protecting you from the damaging effects that stress has dealt you. Yeah. Lighten your load. I really I can't thank the universe enough for that closing message. So that being said, I want to thank the spirit guides and the angels who did help us get this message today. It made sense to me. Lightening your load is the key. If you come away with one thing that you heard today, please let it be that. Don't overdo it. Don't do too much. Do less. Be more. Do less. Be more. And we're all going to get through it somehow if you can just do less and be more. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Thanks for coming by. Namaste.